because my kids are seeing that.
Right.
I think that matters too. Like,
It
Most
don't have
things
nothing
are
to do with
there's a
fixable.
lot of people.
It don't have anything to do with
There's
age,
a lot-
getting married too late. People don't have the intestinal fortitude for marriage. You get up there and say these vows. It's duty and responsibility, time and pain. It's the kids. It's the rearing. It's lineage and legacy. That's a joke in itself.
But is that not part of the kids?
What you talking about?
So your kids are a direct reflection of you. So if my kids are seeing me unhappy, now what?
What are you talking about?
Because
Yeah,
you
damn wrong.
said happiness in the marriage because you just said
No,
that kids are part of it,
let
right?
me explain it to you. You're
said part of marriage
conflating.
is
You're
kids.
conflating your happiness with how the kids are treated, right? I'm not even talking about the kids. I'm talking about you being happy, right? I just said that about sex, so don't act like you can't do it about everything else. So now that we have a baseline with that, you can
kids
fake it till
understand.
you make it in front of them kids all the time. Now, kids have discernment. I understand that, but happiness doesn't mean everything has to be egregious in the household. However, we know ebb and flow. Is that a thing, or are we dismissing postpartum?
The postpartum depression is
Do we have menopause?
uh-huh.
Right? And so you guys go through these ebb and flow periods where your happiness is intrinsically not working.
But
And
that's
so-
why I agree that
But I'm just saying, but you put it on the kids. Like, no, answer my question directly based on happiness itself.
I did, but I said it depends on how long I've been unhappy. Raising my kids in a house where there's no happiness is not
Selfish.
that's not life goals.
No,
Just,
Selfish.
just for the sake to say I have a husband? Are you serious?
No.
No, you made a commitment under the Most High God, right? Unless you don't believe
Who
it.
cares about the commitment if I'm unhappy and I'm dying inside?
No, don't
Who cares?
interrupt. Don't interrupt them, Melly. Sorry, Nikki, what you say?
I'm not staying unhappy for 10 months. You talking about 10 years?
Well, I've stayed unhappy for a very, very long time. But who is going to continuously stay in an unhealthy marriage where you're burning inside, you're dying inside, you done forgot who you are, you done forgot your self-worth, and you're just super unhappy, like depressed to that point, just to say I have a husband and I have a family? Forever?
I think that we know how hoes are created. Callie said it earlier. Something about they ain't had their daddy, their daddy didn't love them. That's one. Secondly, most of these hoes been hurt by a man. Just like these niggas that been hurt by women, they become hoes. It's the same thing.
Savage.
Okay, so this is what I'm saying. Even with what Kelly is saying, the lack of love, lack, hopelessness, a deficit, desperation. That's all the same umbrella. I'm desperate for the love of a real man because a man never loved me. So I'm out there searching for the love of a man. But because I don't know how to properly find love from a man because I never experienced it. So now from these worst experiences that I've had and the damage that I've had from men, I'm telling you now, I'm only going to use them for what I like them for because there's no possibility that they could ever even try to love me correctly. And I'm so lost on love, so in the deficit, I'll be desperate. And a lot of women have seen this. The girl come up here, Hamp, remember the girl that came up here who was cosplaying a man? She was a whole butch, calling the women male-centered up here. You're trying to become them niggas. Talk about worship when you think you're fucking up a storm because you're a man and you're acting like a man. That's male worship down to the ground.
So the women who are promiscuous, are we saying they're all desperate?
Majority. I'm not saying that, but I know.
Yeah, I agree.
I feel like in my point in my life, I feel like I was being groomed to cater to him.
So at 18, when did you guys break up or stop dealing with each other?
When I was 21, turning 22.
So you were for about 3 to 4 years. How did you upgrade him?
Oh shit.
I think that I gave him a different perspective.
Well, you also feel like after you dated him, I upgraded you, and then all these women want you after what I did for you.
Hey, bro, he was 18, bro. Like, you grilling him, bro. What the fuck?
No,
because it's hard to imagine an 18-year-old girl upgrading a 28-year-old man, but then like you left curious, what could you have possibly really done to a man that age? Like, you don't have no money, you 18, you don't have much knowledge, you 18.
What we're witnessing is cognitive dissonance. So there's no way you admonish the man by saying that you upgraded him and then in another breath say he groomed you. Those two things are diametrically opposed, right? And then you said age don't matter. People could be wise beyond their years. However, when Tamia gave you the bail money about you being 18, you're like, yeah, I was just 18. Nah, because remember you just said that you had the wisdom and understanding of somebody older than that, which is what you would be able to bestow on him. Right? Ooh. So these things are conflicting when we saying them. Did you actually upgrade him, or was you mad and talking shit to him because he cheated on? Are most of us cowards? Are most of us willing to kill and die for our wife and children? Are we willing to defend ourselves? Do we know what it looks like when shit is hitting the fan? Do we know when danger is actually upon us? How many dangerous situations have we been in to tell? Do we know who we are in these ways? I'm gonna just tell y'all this. If you are in a real life situation and a person approaches you after an aggressive conversation, get yourself in a position in which you can defend yourself properly. So don't stay in a position that doesn't give you any advantage but put you at a disadvantage. Don't ever do that. I see people picking and choosing, you know? So if I'm going to approach you in an aggressive manner, then I should stay that way. Or else you look bad. That shit look corny. That shit don't look good for men. Because it's like, damn, is there a low-level threat of violence between men for real? But that's the word. We pump faking, we half stepping. That shit take away from our strength, our bravado, when we don't know how this shit's supposed to go. So this is a thing that I just been trying to process, man. Don't sleep on nobody and be ready. Be ready as you can. The man says he got cheated on, and you tell him he's the reason why he got cheated on because she didn't feel like she was getting enough emotional support from him, and you justify him getting cheated on.
And like I said, that's unfortunate. But the person that he
got cheated on, you would have been like, "Girl, that nigga ain't shit."
No, first of all, you don't know me, so you don't know what I would have said. I would have asked, well, what happened? What did you do? What did he do? I would try to get the full story. But to just go on this I hate women train, I'm not about to do that. Like I said, give us the full details. But to just act like everything was just shine the rainbow, sorry, Uno, but it's more to it.
Right.
So I just want you to realize real quick, she was emotionally deprived, and you think
and then she entered a relationship with him.
But no, you can't add that speculation on. What we do know, based on what he shared, and somehow you're saying he emotionally deprived her. You think that correlates?
Because before she probably sexually had that experience with that man, she probably emotionally attached herself to him.
Why would you think that?
Because as y'all like to just say that women just go and just be loose and just have sex.
You do. Remember we had the conversation.
But the majority of women, they are going to emotionally, the majority of women going to emotionally attach themselves to a man.
How?
And then have the intercourse.
How do you know that?
Because I know. The same way y'all know. The same way that y'all know everything that y'all done talked about.
No, what I'm saying is, how do you know that, and how can you justify that based on women's behavior?
Because it's statistics. Somebody do the research.
If she has a dream about me cheating, am I at fault now?
You did that shit.
You did that shit, nigga. You did that shit in your past life, man.
Damn, boy. So he got hit with a honey bun and it's his fault. Okay.
That's like a boomerang.
I mean, I don't know his situation. How much would you say yes or no?
Well, she let another man put his penis in her vagina. He didn't ask her to do it. She just went and did it because or whatever.
So, I mean, I don't know how necessarily it's his fault unless he, maybe he's seen the signs and just chose to ignore them. But other than that, like, I'm pretty sure you left after you found out.
Yeah.
So, yeah, he did the right thing.
Stepping away from it. So, is that an assurance for a partner? Is that an option as well? Like, even like open book?
Yeah, I got you. Real quick. Hey, fellas, if you dealing with a woman and she call you a partner, get up out of there. Okay. Yeah, let me see. Let me log in that joint whenever I feel like it. Yeah, I think that will work for sure. Yo, that accountability helps people too. If you know somebody else is looking at this shit, like how you reply, what you reply to, the bullshit, right? So like, for instance, this might be risky. Callie and I can see it, and my wife can see it. Now, I don't even really look at it that much because I know that they be looking at it. But also, bullshit get flushed. You know what I'm saying? It like take a weight off you, Right? Because temptation killed the cat. Pun intended.
I don't even have a lock on my phone. You can pick up my phone at any moment and go in there looking and see text messages and all of that shit.
Don't get a password. You say delete it. It's gonna be deleted.
You mentioned that one of the problems was that you have so much access on social media. Like some people can message you, DM, your DMs popping. Him looking at it, is that going to satisfy him that it's confirmed now, or is he just trying to confirm whether or not you're responding back and cheating?
The con to that is that he gonna read all that shit the wrong way for sure.
Every time.
As he should. It ain't never all good.
I was just going to say something to the effect of, in terms of social media, although primarily I do it for content creation, if my man had an issue with it, I was at it, no questions asked, because I've actually been there, done that.
It calls for strokes. Like somebody will punch you in your shit for talking too much and talking crazy.
It say that in the Bible? No, it doesn't say that in the Bible. That also equates to...
I knew it. A fool lips enter into contention and his mouth calleth for strokes. Proverbs 18:6.
Okay.
Because I read this shit. I'm just saying
I
about...
did 5,000 times.
Yeah, so what I'm saying is... Well, you didn't know that was in there, right?
Put him in the fucking bedroom. Get him out.
So...
Like, yes, subscribe, tell a friend to tell a friend. DJ Hamp about to go live again. So hit the likes, my friend, on your way in. First off, salute the chat. And to all new cousins, welcome back. Heard you searching for the real, well, this is where it's at. The latest topics and panels and brother, don't get sent to the bathroom. We got all the stats to back the facts in the morning or the afternoon. Tuesday, women's POV, 2 Fridays, dancing, jamming tune. It's a community of real, and we better than the world news. This might be risky, I hope you know. This might be risky, let's go, let's go. This might be risky, no, I love you, real, I love it. This might be risky. Salute to DJ Hamp, it's time to start the show. Salute to DJ Hamp, it's time to start the show. Yeah, it's a broadcast. It's a broadcast. It's a broadcast, yeah. Like, share, subscribe, tell a friend to tell a friend. DJ Hamp about to go live again. So hit the likes, my friend, on your way in. First off, salute the chat. And to all new cousins, welcome back. Heard you searching for the real, well, this is where it's at. The latest topics and panels and brother, don't get sent to the bathroom. We got all the stats to back the facts in the morning or the afternoon. Tuesday, women's POV, 2 Fridays, dancing, jamming tune. It's a community of real, and we better than the world news. This might be risky, I hope you know. This might be risky, let's go, let's go. This might be risky, no, I love you, real, I love it. This might be risky. Salute to DJ Hamp, it's time to start the show. Salute to DJ Hamp, it's time to start the show.
Oh, we can kill all this. We can kill all this. Say, like, do you want to be next?
Anytime you ready, baby. I was supposed to be there.
Ooh, I'm with it.
I'm
with it. We can do it.
Knocks out everybody, and no one can whoop him. That's when that little Cassius Clay from Louisville, Kentucky came up and stopped Sonny Liston, the man who annihilated Floyd Patterson twice. He was going to kill me. He hit harder than George. His reach is longer than George. He's a better boxer than George. And I'm better now than I was when you saw that 22-year-old undeveloped kid running from Sonny Liston. I'm experienced now, professional. Jaw's been broke, been lost, knocked down a couple times. Bad. Been chopping trees. I done something new for this fight. I done wrestled with an alligator. That's right. I have wrestled with an alligator. I done tussled with a whale. I done handcuffed lightning, throw thunder and things. That's bad. Only last week, I murdered a rock, injured a stone, hospitalized a brick. I'm so mean, I make medicine sick. Man, dude. Fast. Last night, I cut the light off my bedroom. The switch was in the bed before the room was dark. Incredible. Fast. And you, George Foreman, all of you chumps are gonna bow when I whoop him. All of you. I know you got him. I know you got him picked, but the man's in trouble. I'm gonna show you how great I am.
Yo, check.
Yeah. It's a broadcast. It's a broadcast. It's a broadcast, yeah. Like, share, subscribe, tell a friend, tell a friend. DJ Hamp about to go live again. So hit the likes, my friend, on your way in. First off, salute the chat. And to all new cousins, welcome back. Heard you searching for the real, well, this is where it's at. The latest topics and panels, and brother, don't get sent to the bathroom. We got all the stats, too, back to facts in the morning or the afternoon. Tuesday, women's POV, 2 Fridays, dancing, jamming tune. It's a community of real, and we better than the world news. This might be risky, I hope you know. This might be risky, let's go, let's go. This might be risky, no, I love you, real, I love it. This might be risky. Salute to DJ Hamp, it's time to start the show. Salute to DJ Hamp, it's time to start the show.
Yo, like. Like, share, subscribe, tell a friend, and tell a friend. Hit that like button right now if you can. That helps the channel the most. DJ Hamp and people in the building. Salute to Wednesday in the call-in show. I know we missed the POV last night. I had an obligation. You heard. We see if we can make that up as well. I think we missed the call-in show last week, but we back. We're going to try to be as consistent as possible. You feel me? Hit the like button. Hit the like button. Hit the like button. One more time, man. I like this shit. Yeah. It's broadcast. Salute the foe, man. What up?
Like, share, subscribe, tell a friend, tell a friend. DJ Hamp about to go live again. So hit the likes, my friend, on your way in. First off, salute the chat. And to all new cousins, welcome back. Heard you searching for the real, well, this is where it's at. The latest topics and panels, and brother, don't get sent to the bathroom. We got all the stats, too, back to facts in the morning or the afternoon. Tuesday, women's POV, 2 Fridays, dancing, jamming tune. It's a community of real, and we better than the world news. This might be risky, I hope you know. This might be risky, let's go, let's go. This might be risky, no, I love you, real, I love it. This might be risky. Salute to DJ Hamp, it's time to start the show. Salute to DJ Hamp, it's time to start the show.
What's good, man? Salute to the 80 people in the building. Please hit the like button if you can, if you don't mind, man. I'm trying to handle something real quick. It's so annoying, man.
The shit seeking a place with young freak, and I got what it takes to rock the mic right. The shit seeking a place with young freak, and I got what it takes to rock the mic right. The shit seeking a place with young freak, and I got what it takes to rock the mic right. Still watch what you say out your mouth, cause 50 shots still turn the gun out. I'm Mr. Hood when I'm traveling. Hood when I'm traveling. Hood when I'm traveling. Hood when I'm traveling.
It's next when I'm traveling. Get back, hood when I'm traveling.
Hood when I'm traveling. Hood when I'm traveling. Hood when I'm traveling.
All right, man, we ready. Like, share, subscribe, tell a friend, and tell a friend. Hit that like button right now if you can. That helps the channel the most, man. Salute to everybody in the building. Call-in show. I like this show. I think it has a different vibe and an element. The inspiration for today was drawn from yesterday. You heard? Once again, salute to everybody in the building. We got to get it popping. The inspiration for today's show really was inspired by yesterday. You know? There's so much information being asserted, you know? And people will argue, well, that's not true. Based on what exactly? Where did you get this information from? Right? Who taught you that? And when they taught it to you, did you vet it? Overwhelmingly, that's not happening, especially as it pertains to religious text. But we can actually zoom out and extrapolate that to damn near everything, right? We always say they said. Even as we go through different assessments and proof of concept, someone that we trusted, someone that we thought was an authority or was an expert said it, and therefore we carried it forward. But then once we scrutinize and ask people to substantiate, we realizing that they can't. Not to the degree in which they would need to for it to become fact or accepted. We just accept it because of the figure, right? We just could accept it because that's what's always been said. Because that's what's always been said, right? So we seemingly take it as fact, truth, and then we'll repeat it without ever having vetted the information. You see how problematic that is? We get a lot of pushback all the time about the truth. What we believe, what's right, what's wrong, but we can substantiate it in the book itself. You can take the concept in which we're discussing right now and apply this going forward outside of just religious text. We're going to use Christianity today as the example of things that were said to all of us that we believed, and we never took the time to look it up. We never saw an issue with the fact that the pastor would read 2 verses but talk for 2 hours. When would that ever make sense? You give me 2 verses and then you give your opinion for 60 minutes. There's so many verses to back up one another. Even in the Bible, it says you need 2 or 3 witnesses. They give you 1. And then just talk. So when we're saying religious dogma, I'm going to give you guys a few examples. But there's dogmatic things in just about everything. Our conversations about relationships. There's so much dogma in it. We just accepted it. And now we like, wait. Isn't that bullshit though? Isn't that not true? Can you substantiate that? Where'd you get that from? Have you ever lived it? Do you have any experience? Who's the expert? How were they vetted? Was it experts talking to experts, right? Was it peer reviewed? Or did somebody say a thing and it sounded good? It gave me a way out. It gave me an excuse. It justified my actions, so I took it. Because it placated to me. And I ran with it. So I'm just really thinking about it, man, how we be processing this shit. And I'm going to show you a few examples. And like I said, this isn't the religion, the Bible, the Christianity thing, right, is the example that we're using today, right? But take this walk with me as we extrapolate what we're going to see today into how we often have the conversation without having to substantiate, without proving concepts. See, you seeing a thing. You seeing a bit of a change, but I'm going to reserve that thought. Like, share, subscribe, tell a friend to tell a friend. Hit that like button right now if you can. It helps the channel the most. Have you guys ever heard, let me start here. You ever heard people go to church? They go up to the altar, right? And they repent. And they say they've been washed by the blood and they've been saved. Right? And they just say, I gave my life to God or Jesus, whatever they say. And I'm saved now. You ever heard that? Put a 1 in the chat if you heard that. My grandma's a pastor, right? Pentecostal. So we go to church from 11 to whenever it's done. Right? 11 to 6, 11 to 3. I'd be happy as shit my dad go. Because when my dad go, we could go to sleep because he go to sleep. And when he ready to leave, we ready to leave. And when he leave, we leave. But if he ain't go, 11 to whenever. And then we make sure we get a bacon, egg, and cheese at the end of church. So put a 1 in the chat if you've heard that before. I'm saying, put a 1 in the chat if you've heard that before. Hold on 1 second. I'm trying to fix my screen. 1 second. Okay. But then it's like this, right? That the thing that confuses me the most is, what about what Jesus said? Why they never told us what Jesus said? Why they keep telling us what they saying? Why did they never tell us what Jesus said? You ever notice that? What did he say about being saved? Right? So this is an excerpt, right? This is the verse here, right? Another thing they do say, oh, we need the context. This is in context. Matthew 24:13, simply. This would be in red letter in your Bible. But he that shall endure unto the end, the same shall be saved. Right? You're talking about being saved from your sin. But how does that work? What does that mean? He who endures until the end, the same shall be saved. We go to the altar, we repent one time, now we saved. Jesus says in Matthew 24, read the chapter, right? I don't got much time. Read the chapter, right? Verse 13. But he who endures until the end, the same shall be saved. There is nothing that you can substantiate to say, hey, I go up there, I quote unquote give my life, and now I'm saved. No, it takes endurance, right? You have to do all the things all the time. And then when you get your judgment, you'll find out. But they told us for so long. You ask somebody, are you saved? Yeah. They can't prove it. Their actions don't show it. They're not following the commandments, right? But in the Bible, from Jesus' mouth, you have to endure until the end. If somebody asks me if I'm saved, you know what I'm going to say? We'll see. Because that's what Jesus said. We'll see. But the dogma of Christianity, right? The dogma of Christianity will tell you, you go up there, you repent, you give your life to God, give your life to Christ, however they say it, and you saved, right? That's the dogmatic aspect that puts us in peril, that does people a disservice, right? That's the key, you see? So the Bible is one thing, the dogma of Christianity is another, and that can get us in trouble because it's almost like sentiments as opposed to what the Bible says. And when it misaligns, but we continue to perpetuate it, that's the most dogmatic aspect, right? Because you would just go to the book of where they were supposed to get it from. And if you can't find it, what are you saying? That's somebody's idea that's been perpetuated. And we repeat it over and over, right? And we put it in our lexicon and we push it. Right? So that's just very important. That's one of them, right? That's one, right? He who endures unto the end, the same shall be saved. But we've been taught for so long, right? We've been taught for so long, excuse me. Oh, go up there, repent, you saved. Nah. Every third Sunday. Free zone. Salute, bro. Every third Sunday, right? And so again, this is an example of the dogma. I could easily use our relationship conversations, right? I could easily use the relationship conversations where we have so much dogma in them. This is more, I got this idea from yesterday when we were talking about the Bible, and there's so many things that people said, you know? I'm going to get this book real quick for one of the other sections, right? Repentance. What did they teach us about repentance? You sin, you can ask for forgiveness, right? You see it in the Catholic Church. They go sit in front of the priest, right? I forget what that's called, right? I forget what that's called. Oh, confession. So as long as they confess, boom, they clean, they can go out and do it again and again and again and again and again. And we can always repent. We can always come back. We can always have our sins washed away, Right? Have we been taught that? Put a 1 in the chat if you've been taught that. You gotta repent. Just repent. Right? Well, repent from 1. What are you repenting from? Which is contrary to what we taught, but that's less of what I'm focused on this one. Right? Have you guys ever heard that? Put a 1 in the chat. You can be forgiven. Just repent. Just ask God for forgiveness. But what does the Bible say? Right? What does the Bible say about repenting from doing the same thing over and over, from sinning over and over repetitively? What does the Bible say? Right? That's the key, but it continuously gets ignored. So here, this is Hebrews 10 and 26. Make sure you guys confirm, you know what I mean? Go read it for yourself. Hebrews 10 and 26 out the King James. It says, for if we sin willfully, right? So you knowing you sinning, you go do it again. After we have received the knowledge of the truth, there remaineth no more sacrifice for sins. Right? And go read the chapter for yourself. For if we sin willfully, meaning I'm doing a thing and I'm just going to ask for forgiveness, right? After we know it's wrong, after we receive the knowledge of the truth, there remaineth no more sacrifice for sins. But we've been taught for so long, hey, you could just repent. But the Bible don't say that. Your grace runs out. Right? But I'm just telling you, showing you what it says in the Bible. But what we've been taught in the Christianity, the dogma of Christianity. Right? And it doesn't align. But we've repeated it over and over consistently till we believe it. And it's just not the truth. We've been done a disservice. You know? Again, we saying taught versus learned. You see? You don't even have to believe in the Bible. You could be an atheist and understand what we're discussing. We're saying what people say, right, about a concept, and then what the concept actually says and means. They're telling us what's in the book, but they can't show us because it's not in there. But we accepted it and we perpetuate it. And we say it as though it's true. Right? Yeah, indoctrination is a good word. Right? Taught versus learned. You know? So when I went to read this, I learned, oh, it actually doesn't say that. But I've been taught it does. And everybody around me. Right? Again, take the concept and extrapolate it to anything you want. Oftentimes, we just repeating things that we haven't vetted, don't understand, and the source we got it from, we don't know that source good enough to know if it's true, but we just accept it because oftentimes it'll align with what we already thinking. You see? We like it. If we like it, we accept it. You know, without vetting it. And that's the taught versus learned that is dangerous if you have the wrong teacher. So I'm just giving you the chapters, book, chapter, verse. I'm showing you what it says as opposed to what they told us. And you can go look this up for yourself. You ever heard God knows my heart? That one. That one right there is the illest one to me, son. That one is the illest one. God knows my heart is the illest one. A nigga have a lobster roll talking about God know my heart. I was talking to this gay dude about something. I forget what the fuck we was talking about. I was something, and I'm like, nah, bro, you bugging. You know, I'm kind of edifying him, right? I'm not going, you know, like I'm not trying to destroy him, but I'm edifying him. He like, well, God know my heart. I said, what are you talking about? What are you talking about? Right? And this is a real example. I'm like, no, I said, look, just read right here, right? Just read it. I'm holding my Bible like this. Look, read it like this. Look. No, this is what he says. You know? But now, what does the Bible say specifically? So when you read the Bible, heart, when you see heart, salute to everybody in the building, man. Windy City, T Leave, Rainbow Kid, Boot Camp Strata, Thigh, Yoli was popping, Ty was goody, Free Zone. Salute to everybody. I know I missed everybody. I've just got limited time, so I want to get to the call-in aspect. What does it say about the mind in the Bible? God ain't done with me yet. Hey, Ty, that's a good one, beloved. Real shit. That's one of them ones, bro. That's one of them ones for sure. Yeah, I like that one. That's one of them ones, man. Yeah, that's one of them ones for sure, man. Damn, that's funny. So, right, what does it say? Let me show y'all this. Hit the like button, man. Jeremiah 17:9, because we're just going through the things that we've all been taught and heard, right? The heart, mind, is deceitful above all things and desperately wicked. Who can know it, right? Now, obviously, the Most High is omniscient, omnipresent, omnipotent, right? Knows all things, all powerful, and everywhere at once. You know? But think about this even when you say it about yourself. Right? Your mind play tricks on you. You seen the little midget nigga? Didn't he rap that to us? People, and I say this all the time, we judge everybody else based off their actions. We judge ourselves based off our intentions. So as long as I act like or say my intentions are pure or think that, I can justify it. But the Bible lets you know. Your mind is deceitful above all things and desperately wicked. Who can know it? We're overwhelmingly selfish. Right? But God knows my heart. That thing just always grinding my gears, scuffing my Timbs, you know? It's directly in line with personal relationship. That personal relationship shit is dangerous as well, right? Because it allows you to be subjectively compliant, subjectively in submission to the Most High, subjectively fearful, meaning respectful, and he has your undivided attention because it's this personal relationship. What he do for you might be different than do for me, and his instructions for you might be different from his instructions for me. But the Bible don't say that, right? And that's all we looking at is the things that we all been taught. This is a group hug. This ain't attacking. This is a group hug. We all together in this. We all been taught this shit. Wherever we are now, we've been taught the same shit over and over, right? But then when we read the book, it don't say the shit that we've been taught. We've been taught dogma. And we trusted the people teaching us, so we believed it. Right? Let me show you this. Right? People say, I got a personal relationship, you know, and all that. But then look what the Bible says. It's almost like a retort to that directly. This is 1 John 2:3-5, right? And hereby we do know that we know him if we keep his commandments, right? God, I got a personal relationship, right? See that? And hereby we do know that we know him if we keep his commandments. This is 1 John 2. He that saith, I know him, and keep not his commandments is a liar, and the truth is not in him. But whoso keepeth his word, in him verily is the love of God perfected. Hereby know we that we are in him. Nah. All this, yo, God, I got a personal you. Nah, he telling you. You act like you know him, but you ain't compliant. You don't keep his commandments, which is the love of God. You don't know him. You don't have a personal relationship. Right? It doesn't line up. But people try to make it personal so it can now be subjective. But you just read it. Let me show you this. Right. Just to show y'all how not subjective it is, right? So this is Ecclesiastes 12 and 13. Let us hear the conclusion of the whole matter. Fear God and keep his commandments, for this is the whole duty of man. It's right here. Nah, all that personal shit, nah. Nah, beloved. No. That's not it. Fear God, all reverence and respect, and keep his commandments. This is the whole duty of man. It's straightforward. But we try to personalize things so we can make them fluid, so we can manipulate them. And it's straightforward. My brother Robert, what up, Ak? He said simple. I would say simple. Simple doesn't mean easy, right? Sherelle made a cool analogy last week or yesterday. She said, you have to get a first down by going 10 yards. Simple enough. There's a whole lot of obstacles in the way, though. But generally speaking, the concept is A to B. They told us this. You can't keep the commandments. You remember that one? You can't do this stuff, right? It's impossible. You can't do it. It's impossible. You can't. Right? So Jesus came to give us grace. But this is what be killing me, right? They'll tell you you can't do something, right? Hold on, let me get this one. I ain't have this one queued up, but let me get this one. You know, and this is used in this context all the time. So you guys will know this as soon as I show you. Right? They say you can't keep the commandments. It's impossible. You ever heard that one? Put a 1 in the chat if you heard that one. Put a 1 in the chat if you heard that one. Yo, you can't. It's impossible. You can't do it. And then right after that, at the end of church, did you hear this? I can do all things through Christ who strengthened me. Y'all niggas just told me this was impossible. And then at the end of church,
wow.
You tell me I could do all things through Christ. Say, wait a minute. Did y'all just hit me with a honey bun? I don't know if I'm supposed to be mad. I don't know. But yo, the dogma that we all learned got us here in this predicament. You know? So this is a group hug, B. This is a group hug. This ain't even about who a Christian and all that. I'm just saying, look at this, bro. We've been taught this, you know? It's been put in front of us in a way in which it was somebody's thoughts and it didn't align with the Bible. Right? It doesn't align with the Bible, but we've been taught it for so long, we just accepted it. And now we just start to read for ourselves and it just doesn't say that. Right? It doesn't say what they said it said. That's the issue. You see? And we just reading it. And I'm giving you the book, chapter, verse so you can actually go look it up. Right? It's no big deal. But it's about opening up. I think somebody mentioned I was interpreting. I don't know what it means. We literally just reading it. And we reading it together. You know? But it's just so interesting, man. Right? It's just so interesting. Like, we've been done a disservice. And we all going through the shit together. So now we're just trying to figure it out. You know? That's why when we had these conversations, it's usually most of the time fun to me. Because I could see people learning as we going. As do I, as did I. You know what I'm saying? So it's just interesting. So I'm going to drop the Zoom link for the call in. And we'll see who got some opinions, what they think, right? Maybe it won't be too long, you know? Because it's just straightforward. Yeah, 75th, just hit the link. You don't got to be on camera. And we can see what's what. I think people got a lot of answers in the chat, so-called. So the link is dropped. Like I said, it's just calling, so you'll be able to be heard. And we can get it popping or further discuss, whatever you want to do, you know. But it's just interesting, man. It's just interesting. And so those are just a few things. As y'all know, there's plenty of things. You know, there's plenty of things that we could go through where we'd be like, oh, but it doesn't say that, but it doesn't say this, you know. Or we've been taught this, but then that doesn't show up anywhere in the Bible. You know, the Trinity, or they say it don't matter what Jesus looked like, but there's descriptions in the Old and the New Testament, so-called. There's a description of even how God looks, you know, Jesus, the Israelites. You know, you look up like different things like, you guys heard of leprosy? But, you know, to be leprous is like white as snow. You know, Miriam, God made her leprous because he was talking too much shit. He made her leprous, right? You know, so there's definitely depictions of how people look. You know, but they'll tell us it don't matter. Why? You know, it's interesting. Salute to Kasim. If you read the book of Luke, if you notice, John the Baptist's parents were blameless. They walked in all the statutes and commandments. See, I think we misunderstand what perfect means. Now I'm more so just talking through these, right? Because I went through the ones I wanted to go through. And we can kind of stick on that. You know what I'm saying? But think about that. Blameless, walking in all the commandments. You see? That's important when you make those statements. But they never really taught us. And I'm saying us. They never really taught us. So now we figuring it out. And I think we're doing a great job. And most people in here just listening because they know when we approach a thing, we're approaching it objectively and we're pursuing the concept. So now that we're walking this concept down, you know, we have dogma versus the reality of what's actually written. And we seeing that those things don't align. So we question it, correct it, and then we move forward with the right understanding. You know, that's how we do things. T. Lees, what up, kid? Good to see you. What's popping?
Yo. How's my audio?
It's good. What's the word?
Man, what's good? You know, I don't got no pushback on what you're saying. I think I just want to give a perspective on it.
Yeah.
You know, what I think a lot to or most people run into is that when you start to challenge what you've learned or what you were taught,
yes,
especially when I was in church as well growing up, is like you thought that's what it was and there's nothing else to it. As you get older and you get introduced to new information, you start to realize there are more questions than answers. And when things start to sound or start to make sense outside of what you were taught, it is an isolating feeling. And as an example, when I tell people that I don't celebrate Easter or Christmas anymore, especially with my family and then anybody that I've dated since I've taken on this new perspective. It's shocking to people, and they're questioning why, they're questioning me on it. And, I try to give them information that I've learned, and they're just like, that's not true. Or that's your interpretation of it is not right. So you go throughout life, or I'm going throughout my life now, where I'm trying to let people know, hey, I don't celebrate these things. I don't do these things anymore. And they're looking at me like I'm crazy,
Yeah.
So I think people don't want to be isolated. People, find ways to circumvent the truth because it makes them feel good. So I think most of it is feelings based, and they just don't want to be isolated by themselves.
Yeah, 100%.
So that's the perspective that I wanted to bring to it.
100%, right? And you were breaking up a little bit, but I heard you. I heard what you were saying, and we'll just converse, and see if you could find these verses, right? They told the seers, see not, right? They told the prophets, prophesy not, speak unto us smooth things, right? Don't tell us the truth. We don't like how that feels. Right. So what you going through makes perfect sense. We run away from it all the time. Secondly, see if you could find this one. Straight is the gate, but narrow is the way. Many will be called, but few will be chosen. It's never the majority doing the right thing. So to feel, and I'm saying feel, ostracized makes perfect sense when you think about it. Look up this one. See if you can find this one. Hopefully somebody help us in the chat. It'll come in these last days, scoffers. Right? Me and you trying to build. People come not trying to build, just try to destroy. Just try to say, oh, that's corny. Y'all are crazy. Y'all are racist. Y'all too loud. Y'all too mean. I'm talking to my brother. All right? But people come in thinking they adding when all they doing is taking away. So you got to look out for those people too. Right? But then once they get a challenge, you see them kind of curl up. You know what I mean? So those three things, what you said, 100% is backed up by the Bible. So ain't nothing new under the sun. What you going through, that's regular shit. Feel me?
Yeah. So yeah, I appreciate that. I went through a little dead spot, but that's all I really wanted to offer because I sent super chats in the past telling you to bring this back. Because I actually love these. It's kind of like my type of church type thing. So
you always tell me that, bro.
Appreciate
you always tell me that. I gotta bring these back
because again, like because I tell you all the time, I'm like, man, I am, and you also an issue too is once you start to understand the truth, it's hard to find communities of people who like. Who are into it as well. Like, people, but they don't gather, like there's not like a church or like, like you got to go and really dig and find out where you can go to minister or to get, be edified and things of that nature. So the information, even though it's available, is, the people congregating together is not easy to find.
Yeah. 100%. And just remember, when 2 or 3 are gathered together, he's in the midst of us. Make sure you find that verse. And that's church at that point. So don't be, like you and I right now, most of the chat, right? We powwowing with our people. That's church. You feel me? So make it make sense, right? Remember, make sure y'all find this verse. And I want y'all to, I'm not saying the verse. I want somebody to put them in the chat so people can have them too. God doesn't dwell in temples made with hands. So make sure that we have that understanding as well. So I think that's good.
Oh yeah. And last thing too, right? You can see, everything that we're talking about is true because, you like look at your views versus how many people that we're gonna have like in the chat, like what our number is, right? Like you're gonna see people that's popping in to see what the topic is. Yeah. And they see what you're talking about. They be like, oh man, like Hamp talking about this. Nah, I'm good. They're not, but the people that's here, that they want to hear it. So just keep an eye on that. You'll be like, man, it's a lot of people that popped in, a lot of views, but ain't nobody show up in the chat like the other topics. So, that's it, man. I appreciate you. I love you, brother.
Yeah, I love you, bro. I'm proud of you.
Man, thank you. Appreciate you.
Yes, sir. Salute to my brother T Leaves, man. I'm trying to get right, man. Is getting right, not trying. I'll give y'all this one. Zechariah 13, start at verse 8. 2/3 of the people will be cut off. Only the 1/3 is gonna make it. So even the thing that he's experiencing and going through makes perfect sense. And it's like, yo, when you reading and you know what's in there, and the things that you think, feel something off, then the Bible will actually support you. You know? So we're just going through it line for line. So that's the interesting part. Let me read these super chats real quick. My brother Dre, salute for the 20 ball. What going, my youths? Know what I mean? My brother Dre with the 20 ball says, thanks for the clarifications. You're welcome, bro. You know, I got them. It's only right that I share them, you know, and y'all do the same for me. As Abe with the $5 says, Immaculate Conception? Mm-hmm. What? Oh, like, was Joseph not clapping cheeks? Well, that don't make sense. You know? So, yeah, Jesus is immaculately conceived, and he has a earthly father who put sperm inside his mom. You know? Onikasu with the $5 says, reminds me of when my mother said I shouldn't have a gun, but I had to remind her that I'm supposed to sell my garments to have a sword. Gotta protect. That's a fact. Jesus told his disciples, yo, if you don't have a sword, sell your garments and go buy one. Right? 100%. I want y'all to find that verse. That's one of my favorite ones, T. Lee. Onikasu, you already know. Hold on. All right, hold on. Let me see. Chrissy with the $5 says, I don't believe the Bible. I can't say that at family reunions. Yo, Chris, hit the link. That's actually interesting. A little bit off the topic, but that's actually interesting. But I think what you're speaking about is how we've grown up in Christianity, right? So it's like blasphemy, you know? One thing that I had an epiphany for, Chrissy, is I knew I wasn't a Christian, right? Like I knew like that wasn't making a lot of sense to me. Just the things that I was seeing and what they were doing. I'm like, I don't think I'm a Christian, but we grew up in it. You know what I'm saying? So it was just interesting. You know what I'm saying? But I knew I wasn't a Christian. And then I started reading the Bible. And then you realize, you know, religion is one thing, but it's not a religious book. It's a book of law, statutes, commandments, history, prophecy. And it was written for a particular group of people. But it was given to everybody because somebody misunderstood, misconstrued, and tried to perverse it and then send it back out in the earth based on the dogma that they wanted to convey from it, you know? It's interesting how many times they told us interpretation this, interpretation that, right? But then you got Proverbs 3:5 that says, never lean on your own understanding. You have 2 Peter 1:22 says, no scripture is of any private interpretation. You know? So it's so many contrary things. If you read Nehemiah chapter 8, right? It says everybody's there, men, women, kids. You have qualified men, right? That read the Bible, and then qualified men that gave the sense, right? So they not saying, oh, I think this. No, it says, just in case you misunderstood, this is what that means. Point blank, straightforward, end of story. Right? They help people discern it, right? If you see it all the time on the panel. Someone will say something and people won't understand it. I'll say exactly what they said in a way in which more people understand it. Right? The chat will be like, oh, okay, that makes sense. I have a talent to do that. Like, oh, I see what you're saying. This is what he's saying in 3 words as opposed to 50. And people are like, oh, okay, I get it now. Why didn't you just say that? So it's pretty straightforward like that. So everything we see makes perfect sense. And I just think the Bible, even if people are atheists to an extent, and the Bible belongs to them, you can get a whole lot from the tenets, whether you doubt it or not. We've been taught for a long time to do it backwards. If you start any calculus book, it would behoove you to start at the front. Right? It would behoove you to start at the front. But for some reason, because we grew up in Christianity, we started at the back. And then we never read Revelations, right? We stay away from it. And it just put us topsy-turvy, like. Lone Wolf, salute. So it tends to be a lot of that happening. And so we just helping each other. Right? We just helping each other. Right? We talking about a concept and we're using religion, to further understand the concept of taught versus learned. Unfortunately, how we were taught, it kind of, when Chrissy's disposition is as such, I understand it. Right? I understand it because it's so annoying. It's bothersome. Like, wait a minute. This is bullshit. But then when you read it, it's like, oh, this shit actually makes a lot more sense. When you start from the front and you read all the books and you don't put an X over Revelations. So it's just interesting, man. And I knew that this was going to be a light one, right? Well, not light in terms of the topic per se, but light in terms of like people willing to hit the link, So like there's actually some interesting dialogue happening in the chat. But it's different when people have to actually talk, Like there's a few things that they really won't be able to substantiate when they have to actually converse about it back and forth. But this person may have just heard a thing, but they never read the Bible. So when they open it, they'll realize what they're saying won't be substantiated. But ain't no pressure. I think Miss Jilly just dropped the link. Yeah, Chrissy, 100%. And that's the dope part. I was saying, because you my mans, like if you and I kind of dialogued about it, I think you would enjoy it. Like, you know what I'm saying? It would be like refreshing and all that, So, it's just interesting, Like, you ever heard the thing? Shakespeare wrote the Bible. King James was a queer and he wrote the Bible. But there's secular books outside the Bible that even substantiate that not being true. Forge? No, I haven't seen that, Terry. I have the Zondervan Bible Compact Dictionary, right? And let me see if I can find it real quick. So, this one right here. Oh, I think I did see Forge off on Apple. So this is the Zondervan Bible Compact Dictionary, right? So the Zondervan was a family that were trying to like disprove the Bible. And so they started defining terms. And they had like a realization where they kind of couldn't. But it tells you how most of the translations or transliterations were translated and what it took to do it. That's why I use the King James, because of how it was put together. You know, very meticulous process. And so that's why, you know, we often lean towards that one. But people are just saying things, and these people took the time. You know, the first King James came out in 1611. I mean 1911. Wait, 1611. Let me see. Black America, what's the deal? Black America, can you hear me? Mic check, mic check.
I hear you now. Can you hear me?
Yes, sir. What's the deal?
I think I'm in a bad area. Hey, so I just had a real quick question because we had a whole debacle last night about abortion, right? And I know that you are against it, right?
Mm-hmm.
Is abortion, let's say, bad, or would it be against the law?
You know, there's women in the Bible. You might like this one. Genesis 38, right? I'll just tell you, right? But there's a woman in the Bible, her name's Leah. And God praised her because she was barren.
Mm-hmm.
So she was barren, right? So
right.
She gave her handmaid to her husband so he can conceive more children. God was so happy and praised her to the point where he allowed her to have another kid.
He allowed her to have a kid. Yes.
That's how valuable the seed is. First Samuel.
But that's not answering the question, though.
Well, so just to build the value, right? So First Samuel, well, it'll let you know like the value of it. First Samuel, chapter 2. His mom is saying, "Lord, you kill and make alive. You give me my kid, you know, I'll do X, Y, and Z." So I'm just looking at the value. And so now your question was lawful versus moral?
Yes.
And so are you saying what? Is abortion lawful in terms of what? Biblically lawful? Or
Yeah.
You're saying go ahead.
Right. So my thing is, I know that it's bad. I don't like it, but I also say, if it needs to happen, it needs to happen. Right. So that's my stance on it.
What do you mean needs
Say
to
it
happen?
again, sir?
You have to break that down. Needs to happen? What do you mean?
If somebody's molested or taken advantage of, and they come by way of baby, I don't believe that bringing a child into the world under those circumstances is a good thing, right? You had that lady that was in the coma and she ended up pregnant. Somebody was sneaking in while she was in the coma, like things of that nature, right? If the mother's life is in danger, so I know it may seem bad, but is it like, let's say, being gay? You see what I mean? Is it something along those lines, or is it something completely out of line?
Well, you eating pork is an abomination. Being homosexual is an abomination. You're gonna get put to death for both. So y'all the same.
Yes.
So a nigga who eat pork is the same as a homosexual to me.
Right.
Exodus 21. Let's say me and you getting a tussle. Your wife pregnant, she getting away, your baby die. I could pay for that vet.
Yes.
I could pay for that with my life.
Up to your life.
Yes.
Because it's what the father of the child kind of wants to get going.
Yeah.
I understand that, but what I'm saying is it just bad and moral, or is it against the law? Like, is it, you know what I mean?
Yes. You'll be morally inept to kill a child.
So it's just a morals thing.
Well, I guess it's lawful.
That's all.
Yeah. It's lawful here in the United States, in most states, but it is against God, against God's law, and morally inept.
So it doesn't say that, and that's where I'm at. It doesn't say that it's against God's law.
Well, so if you kill a baby,
it just says that it's bad. Just like you use the analogy.
No.
Just like you use the analogy.
That's Exodus.
You could.
That's Exodus. You know that the Torah is where the law is.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's Exodus. That's the law.
No, but I'm saying, but just like you use that analogy, though, I could pay you. Someone could have to pay up to their life, but it is what the father of that child deems compensation. Let's say,
yeah,
and that isn't that the word that he uses.
Yeah, kinda. And then after
say it again, Hamp.
Yeah, I mean we can read it, but you're on point. And then it says eye for eye, tooth for tooth, right? Right. So if you kill my child, I'm gonna kill you.
Right. Yeah, I don't have. I don't have a problem with that. All right, I got a bad connection, bro, so it's kind of choppy. So I'm gonna jump off. But
appreciate you.
Thanks, brother.
Always.
Later.
Oh, I thought I had Tip. I thought I saw you. My bad. I thought I'd bring you up. I brought you in. I know how you say your name, good brother. What's your name? Where you checking in from?
Moses FDI, Dallas.
Dallas? What's good, my G?
I'm good. So I'm a Christian, and I know we're not going to agree on much, but I just wanted to pull up and have the conversation.
Okay.
So what can you explain what you get from Matthew 25, 45, and 46?
Read it out.
It says, if then David calls him Lord, how can he be his son?
Mm-hmm.
And then 46 pretty much says no one could answer the question and they left him alone.
Okay. What are you saying? What are you saying? Or what are you out?
I'm alleging that Jesus claimed to be Lord in front of them and claimed not to be Joseph's son by saying David called me Lord, and nobody could answer him. None of the Pharisees had anything to say to him after he said that.
Okay. Well, I guess simply, does Jesus come from? So when you got that David is the king of Israel, do you think it's David directly, or you think it's his lineage? You hear me, bro?
Yeah, I hear you. I'm trying to process that.
Yeah, I got you. And so like this, right? Because I appreciate you even processing it, right, bro? So think about that, right? It's a good question. So it's his lineage, and you know, Joseph's comes from David's lineage. I think you and I both know that's not by happenstance.
Right.
And you know, but Jesus isn't, and I'm gonna say this in just, right? You know Jesus is an asshole, right?
No, I don't know that.
In terms of how he acts, right? Like you remember in Luke 21, the dude's like, Jesus, it took me so long to bring your pounds because you're an austere man. You know, like, and so austere means cold, strict, unforgiving. You know what I'm saying? Like he kind of act like that. Like remember the lady that they was about to stone her and Jesus just standing there? He ain't saying shit until they ask him a question. Think about it. One of his main man named Simon the Zealot. You know that, right? You know that. So Jesus just got this way about him, you know? Remember, the lady said, blessed be the womb that you come out of. Jesus told her what? Hell nah. Blessed be my Father that are in heaven. Totally like this mom right in that moment. You know? So I understand what he's saying. I don't think that eliminates his patrilineage. If that's what you were asking to say.
All right. And you also know Muslims believe he came from a virgin, right?
Yeah. Do they? The Muslim, I have to ask them. I never heard them say that.
Yeah, they also call him the Messiah as well.
Okay, yeah. See, now that's one thing I never heard that ever from any of my Muslim friends. I think that they do say that he is a prophet. You know what I mean? They usually show him a level of respect. But I think they think he isn't a Messiah.
I'll let you talk to them and maybe one day we'll talk about it and see what you think with your beliefs. And also, when I know Israel means wrestle with God, I'm still trying to figure out who Jacob was fighting with, because you can't see God and live.
Mm-hmm. He's wrestling with an angel.
So why did they say God?
Well, so Psalms 82:6 says what? My bad. I'm not trying to stump you. Psalms 82:6 says, "Ye are gods, but will die like men." So you know that the first Genesis 1 says, in the beginning God created, but you know the word there is Elohim, which means God's plural. I think we would agree, when Paul says the God of this world, you know that verse?
But I think I'm having a problem with what you're saying, because when I see angels in the Bible, they usually just come to give a message. They come to do a service and they leave. They don't really engage with back and forths like wrestling or any of that. They just come, they give their message and they leave. How an angel appears to Mary and gives a message and leaves. And there's multiple occasions where angels come and there's not much conversing, there's no negotiations, there's no, okay, I'll do this for you if this happens. It's just do their message and leave. Do you think that's accurate for angels or no?
You remember they was trying to get the nigga, they wanted to have sex with the angels in Sodom. He sent his daughters out, remember? Because they was trying to.
That was not the angels.
No. Remember they wanted to have sex with the angels? But he sent he sent out the daughters, right? The angels weren't they just come get the message and leave. They were still there. And I guess, do you think angels have free will?
No.
Mm-hmm. And so do you think they'll do real quick, do you think they'll do
no.
They don't. You're right. Per the Bible, they don't, right? Do you and I'll make sure somebody grabs that verse. And so do you think that they'll do whatever the Most High instructs them to do?
So I said no to them having free will, but to expound on that is as an immediate, like, they don't get our options where we have a free will to go back and forth and be flexible in actual forgiveness and repentance and all of that. I don't believe they do. Once you're not in line, you're not in line. You're done. That's why I say they do.
Real quick, just to eliminate the filibuster. I gotta get it. I'm thinking of it. Book, chapter, verse. They don't have free will. They do whatever the Most High tells them to do per the Bible. I'll get the verse for you in a second.
Correct.
So now this part, right? Remember when he was saying, Jesus, call the angels down right now to come get you off this cross and burn this shit up. You see? So they have more ability than just talking and giving a message. That's why Jesus could have called them down. Remember when he was being tempted? If he wanted to. So they can do much more than just talk. So when you're saying you never seen it, remember when Jesus could have called them down to rain hellfire and brimstone, which lets you know they have more ability than just dropping a message.
Right. So they're servants. So yes, they can come and do things, but they cannot go beyond their limits. So for example, I don't believe it's an angel that was negotiating with Abraham about Sodom and Gomorrah since you brought up Lot. Because he was saying, don't destroy them. What if we have 100? What if we have, a few people who are holy? I don't believe an angel can do that, a negotiation. What do you think?
No, yeah. The angels have instructions. And they carry out their instructions. Yes, sir.
So who was Abraham talking to there?
An angel.
We just agreed an angel can't really negotiate. So
yeah, I guess if you see it as a negotiation, I guess we don't see it as a negotiation. Yeah. Okay. The Most High has control over all of the angels, the demons, Satan, right? All of that.
Right.
And so we are just pieces on the board, as are they. So he can use them, at his will.
So you think an angel can rename someone as well?
Rename someone?
Yeah, he changed Jacob's name to Israel.
Per instruction, right? Think about it. Think about this, right? If I say how you say your name again, Op?
Moses FDI.
Moses FDI, right? Let's say I say, yo, Moses, go tell them guys to pack up and go home. Right? And you second in command, and you go tell them to pack up and go home. They'll pack up and go home, but you got that instruction from me. You also see it, the government uses it in a way. You heard of RICO before?
Sure. Yeah.
Racketeering. So literally, they'll get John Gotti for what Sammy the Bull did because they know who gave the instruction. So it's not like a far-fetched thing. We see this happening all the time, where the boss will give an instruction and a manager will implement.
Okay. I'm struggling with that because I don't know that they were sent to do certain things, because going back to Jacob and wrestling with who I think is Jesus, but you think is an angel, he's leaving and he grabs him. So I don't think that's go when he tries to grab you when you're leaving, get into a fight with him. And after you get into a fight with him, name him those who wrestle with God. I can't get myself there. I don't know.
No, it's good. Yeah, I think there's several conversations that are great. We're a little bit off the topic that we kind of had. But I think it's interesting. I think the key is this type of stuff can be a little bit of a stumbling block for people being able to build. But we've been doing a good job. I think you and I. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Well, yeah. Speaking of yesterday, there were a few things.
Moses, real quick. So I just want to do this right because I got a couple more people. So we can reconvene. Make sure if you could hop in the Discord too. We have a lot of dope conversations. But what's the last thing you're gonna say? Go ahead about yesterday.
I was gonna say with Moses marrying the Ethiopian, that happened way later when they already left Egypt. So there were Ethiopians around. So Mr. Fantastic wasn't completely wrong. No. They had Ethiopians around them the whole time, and they were intermarrying with Ethiopians and so forth. So he wasn't completely wrong about that.
Yeah, we agree. Yeah, no, I don't think. Did somebody say he was wrong about the Ethiopian?
Yeah, it was a huge rejection when he first brought up the Ethiopians. Like, no way, they have nothing to do with the Israelites and Jews. They're not like them. They're different people. But if you really look at it, you'll see Ethiopians everywhere, including the guy who picked up Jesus's cross. There's Ethiopians everywhere around Jews all the time in the Bible.
Okay,
so I just wanted to say that. Yeah.
Gotcha. Mm-hmm. Okay, so you're saying that the people of Samaria were Ethiopians?
Sorry. The Shunammite were the Ethiopians.
Okay, because the guy at the cross was a Sumerian, and you know who was in the Samaria, the northern kingdom. Remember when they split in Ezekiel? The northern kingdom is largely in Samaria.
Right.
Okay, and then also with the Ethiopian, does it ever tell us that Moses had children?
Yes, it did.
I can't remember.
Yeah, which was weird because he had the wife and their dad came, and somehow he still chose to marry again, which is another conversation. But yeah, it's,
yeah.
But yeah, go ahead. I was gonna let you go, but go ahead.
Yeah. Oh yeah. No, I was gonna let you go. Yeah. So I think the argument yesterday, because I don't want to get too far off, because I'm glad you brought it up. Essentially, because somebody has said that like we were all considered Ethiopian. So yeah, that's the main point that was being pushed back at, and I think we could agree that Ethiopia was probably larger back then. Yeah, I'm bugging. I think Moses he don't have no daughters, sons, right? Yeah. Yeah. Son, I think he has 2 sons, 3 sons.
Oh yeah.
3 sons.
Yeah, Chiki was driving me crazy saying Christianity is the white man's religion and there are no white people in the Bible. That was driving me crazy.
Yeah, there's no white people in the Bible. Oh, so this was being said. Yeah, like we're all Ethiopian. We would have claimed that title before. And I'm like, no, these are separate people. But yes, everybody was around. That's why you kind of seen like when the Queen of Sheba went, right? So that shows that right there. I think, and this is the key. Cheeky was saying Christianity, the dogma of it, right? When you're not reading it and people are just telling you things, that's created by the white man. The Bible is only for people that look like us. And we can get all our lessons directly from that Bible without having to lean into the dogma of what is Christianity. You sound like you a true Christian in terms of a follower, a believer of Christ, and also reading your Bible thoroughly. He was talking about the Catholicism, the protesters, the Protestants, those type of sects come from white men's ideologies outside of us. You know?
Yeah, tell him to be a little bit more specific. It was driving me crazy. This white man was like, come on. But yeah, thank you for the time.
What's your name in the chat, bro?
I don't be there much. I just drop super chats here and there. Just Moses FDI.
Okay. Hey, bro, appreciate you, man. Thank you for hitting the link. Be safe, you heard? And make sure you join the Discord, man. Stick around.
Thanks. Bye.
Easy. Cheek, what up?
The irony couldn't be more. Couldn't be more. I don't know what to call it. Ironic. But I don't feel like there's a need for me to clarify that if you understand what happened on 325 AD, right?
Mm-hmm.
At the council Nicaea, if we were taking that point forward, it's white. I don't know what else to say. Like, that is very specific. If you're familiar with those events in that historical period of time, it's white, right? But maybe I'm wrong. Who knows? Yeah, Hamp. What you were saying earlier during the show, like, this is how we have conversation. It's true, which is why, whenever you ask for an assessment of or an observation of this space or what it is or what it's not, usually the ones that I give is pretty objective, right? Devoid of personal bias or things like that. Because I've called just about any show that you've had recently in the past 3-4 shows. Mm-hmm. I've called what is going to happen, and it does, because it's a repeat. It's a literal repeat of things that I've seen over and over and over again, and it always comes in a way that just proves the point as to why we need to have a different approach to the conversation.
Yeah.
So I think the way that people treat Christianity, their religion or their beliefs, is the same way they treat their lived experience, politics, and everything else. There's no real deep dive. There's no real, meaning to look up and understand and see where you fall, right? Because everybody was saying yesterday, somebody was having a conversation with me in the Discord, and somebody brought up, they were saying you all try to put people in a box. That's because at this point in time, there's enough categories for you to be slotted in. And it kind of goes back to what you be saying. Most people are not unique. And that would include me. So there are some categories I would fall into, but I know how to argue against it or say that's not true because I've done enough research to know this is why I wouldn't, right? I'm not disingenuous, and I'm not somebody who's going to be moving the goalposts. If you're right, you're right. It's just y'all niggas be wrong a lot, and y'all don't like that. And y'all be biased a lot, and y'all don't like that. But yeah, that's it. Yeah. So you know what I'm saying? I'm not a know-it-all, and I don't think I know everything. And if I need to be more specific, I don't mind having those conversations of details. Trust me, I've done it and I don't mind doing it. But you know, it is what it is, my guy.
Yeah, and that's why when I explained this, he like, oh, okay, well, you know, say it that way next time. But I heard it. Now, to be fair, right? If I'm being as objective, I kind of I know what you're saying as soon as you start talking. Like I can kind of discern your end point, if that makes sense, because we have we thinking about it very similarly. So when you said white man's religion, I instantly know what you mean, and you're using the word religion purposely.
Right.
You know, so I pick it up quickly. You know, oftentimes certain words will invoke an emotion, and then we're having a conversation, hearing through said emotion.
Oh, okay, I got you.
You know what I'm saying? Like y'all niggas start talking crazy about football. Now I'm mad. Now I ain't listening. You know what I'm saying? You know, so I can see like that. You know,
yeah, I see what you say. Okay, because in my head I'm like, man, I don't know. I talked about how, you know, that there was a level of Paul introducing his aspect of or his understanding into we'll say Judaism, right? Just for the lack of better words, I don't know, or Israelitism. He brought his interpretation, you know, took it to the savages up north, and so again, I'm getting into details, and I'm thinking I'm doing enough for those who know to say, look, this is the aspects I'm talking about, which led us down this path of looking for some level of orthodoxy in Christianity, because that's just historically true and factual. So the moment we talk about 325, the moment I give you a time and date, if you understand history, I'm expecting you to align with that time and date, because that's not being disputed by any historian, any biblical anything. These are all things that we've learned before in school, and if you've done a deeper dive, these dates don't change. So that they should be a sign, like you're saying, or a back signal to the aspect I'm talking about.
Yeah,
but yeah,
and it's essentially that they should, you know, and I think that's why we have a conversation like this, right? Good faith, just trying to point out things where we know these things been said, and then what does it say? Taught versus learned, and as we learn, you see people start to develop, and I think just be better going forward. You know what I'm saying? So
yeah,
that's all it is, man. Yeah, man.
Yeah, man. Appreciate you.
Love you,
I'm
man.
gonna let whoever's next come up. So appreciate the time, man.
I got you,
Be
kiddo.
safe.
Appreciate you.
Yes, sir.
My God, my brother Clue was popping. Yeah, I muted you out. You can unmute.
What's going on?
What's up, my G?
All right, how you doing, man? How's everybody else doing?
We doing pretty good, bro. Where you from?
I'm from Brooklyn.
Okay, salute.
Yeah. I was looking at this conversation from an angle of the end.
Okay.
What does the Bible say about after death?
In terms of like when the Most High Jesus come back?
Yeah, like what everyday life is gonna be like in heaven.
So you saying like, are we gonna be eating this shit? Are we gonna be having sex?
Yeah, like what's going on? Like,
oh man,
you know that's what we aspire to, right?
Yeah. I think so. Have you read Revelations?
No.
Okay.
I looked up some stuff, so I got some stuff here.
Okay. What you got? Go ahead, let me see what you got.
All right. Hold on. All right, let me see what they got. Let me
see. So you trying to see if you're gonna be clapping cheeks?
No, I'm not on no whoremonger heaven.
My fault.
Whoremonger heaven is crazy.
Whoremonger heaven is crazy.
That's new for the algorithm.
Yeah, word is born. Yeah, man.
All right, so it says, all right, so Revelations, it automatically went to that.
Okay.
Provides a detailed blueprint of final destination. It describes a place of immense beauty and structural perfection. The city is described as New Jerusalem, made of pure gold, as clear as glass, with more walls made of jasper and foundations adorned with every kind of precious stone.
Mm-hmm.
That's nice, but do I want that?
I don't know. Our people, if you read Ezekiel 16, we are a gaudy people. You know how they always talking about we wear our
adorn ourselves with fancy.
We always been that way. So I guess my answer, because I know you said you, but you really talking about kind of us. When we macro picture.
Macro picture, but I'm saying me. I'm just putting my consciousness out here.
Okay. I mean, do you like shit like that?
That's nice.
But Clue, I'm saying. do you?
It's nice. Hey, this is my marble house. This is dope.
Uh-huh.
You know what I'm saying? But you want something else after a while.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, I think I can understand that. I mean, it's gonna be several things happening. So, one thing that's a little bit less lighthearted is people are gonna pay for the things that they did. If you read Isaiah 14 when you get a chance, it lets you know that there's gonna be a level of servitude or slavery in the kingdom of heaven as well. But it's not.
Hold on, where that at? Wait, people don't. I didn't know there was gonna be no slavery.
People have to reap what they sow, right? So Isaiah 14:1, or read Isaiah 14 when you get a chance, and it starts to talk.
You don't want me to do it now?
How much time we got? It's 10:30. I guess you could. Yeah, you can look it up real quick. Yeah, you know what? Bring it up real quick.
Yeah. Let's have Bible study.
Salute to my man Clue, man. So we gonna go through that, and then Clue, make sure you tap in too, to the Discord and all that, and then we continue to have these conversations. You know what I mean?
Okay.
So Clue bringing up Isaiah 14:1. Y'all can bring it up as well.
14:1.
Yeah, start at verse 1. So just bring up the chapter. You can start at verse 1, and we can read it through. And salute to Clue, man. Salute to everybody in the building. I'm gonna read this super chat until Clue bring it up. As Ava the 10 out says, for God so loved the world that he gave his only begotten son, that whosoever blah blah blah. So the word anybody can be saved. See, now that one that's a walk down in itself.
I would like to believe that everybody will be saved.
Yeah,
because I don't believe that we ask for our thoughts and how we internalize our inward self onto the world.
Okay. Well, so everybody, like anybody, is what you think?
I feel anybody.
Okay, be careful with feel. So this is the important thing. Now, this is another dogmatic thing. So it says, for God so loved the world. The word world right there throws people off.
Okay.
Pull this up real quick, Clue. Go to Hebrews 1.
Let me see.
Right, and I'm gonna kind of leave y'all in limbo, like a part 2 type of thing with this right here. This God so loved the world. I'm just show you something real quick, and everybody real quick. So Clue is bringing up Hebrews 1.
Right. So what it's giving me is not really giving me the text. It's giving me like the footnotes, the blues clues.
Really?
Yeah.
What you looking at?
It says Hebrew 1 is essentially the executive summary of the New Testament.
Type this in. Type this in. My bad. Type this
right.
in. Hebrews 1 and then put KJV behind it. And then Bible Gateway should come up. I'm just going to show you something, right? Because we're talking about John 3:16, for God so loved the world, real quick. Right? So this is super chat. You got it up, Clue?
You said Hebrews 1, right?
Yep, put Hebrews 1 KJV. Like, Hebrews space 1 space KJV.
Right. Okay, so
you got it? Because I want you to read it, because I want them to see, like, they probably already there by now. We've been talking about it. The word world really throws people off, And it shouldn't, but it does.
All right, is this one? Let me know, because the way they broke this down is crazy on the computer.
All right, read it real quick.
It says, God who at sundry times in diverse manners spake in time past unto the fathers by the prophets, having these last days spoken unto us by his son.
Read.
In instruction in the past, manual was delivered in pieces sundry times. Now it has been consolidated into the final.
You reading commentary. Read the next verse.
Yeah, and then it goes to verse 3. So that one passage I just said was basically like 1 and 2 together. That's how they putting it on here.
Okay, read it one more time, because verse 2 is important. That's what we want.
God, who at sundry times and in diverse manners spake in times past unto the fathers by the prophets, hath in these last days spoken unto us by his Son.
And there's more. Does it say whom?
No.
Okay, so it cut your verse off. So the rest of the verse says, whom he hath appointed heir of all things, by whom also he made the worlds. But the word worlds there has an S on it.
It's plural.
So when you read John 3:16, it says, for God so loved the world, singular. So what world is he referencing? See, Jesus does a pretty good job of letting you know he's quoting stuff. Paul does a worse job. Nigga, Paul will just be talking and you be like, oh shit, you said some fire shit. Whole time he got it from Jeremiah and them niggas. You know what I'm saying? But
that's like you remember Vampire in Brooklyn?
Yeah.
Kadeem Hardison's character, every time Eddie was trying to get something going, he would mess it up by saying something crazy.
Yeah. Yo, so it's like they be plagiarizing, like, you know what I mean? So Paul would be like first fruits, this, that, and the third. He like, oh, Paul spitting. Whole time, that's Jeremiah too, right? But if you don't know those verses, you don't know they references, you see? Because the context is where they getting it from. So Jesus is quoting Isaiah 45:17, like paraphrasing it, right? So it says, all Israel shall be saved in the world. All of Israel shall be saved.
Wait, it's specific? It's being specific.
Yeah, but see, people don't know he's paraphrasing, right? So the verses Isaiah 45:17 says, but Israel shall be saved in the Lord with an everlasting salvation. Ye shall not be ashamed nor confounded, world without end. And now we know that the Bible has several worlds pursuant to Hebrews 1 and 2. So now you got to think, well, damn. And so let me ask you this. Are you a Knicks fan?
Of course.
Right? So you're a Knicks fan. Me and you start having a conversation, right? We both Knicks fans. So now I'm saying this. Yo, what if we do this? But if we get James Harden and them niggas, whatever, I don't have to keep saying Knicks fan. We know what we talking about.
Right.
You see? So Jesus is having a conversation with a dude named Nicodemus, who is the ruler of the Jews.
No pun intended.
Yeah, no pun intended. Nicodemus. So they talking. They both Jews, right? Nicodemus is the high up. And he's talking to Jesus about what's going on. So now it's two Jews talking to each other. So you see, they know what they talking about. They within context. If somebody just walk up on me and you talking about the Knicks and we don't keep saying Knicks, they gonna think they can be included because we not being specific because we already know what the subject is. So people will jump to 3:16, but they'll skip 3:14, which has to do with when the Jews were in the wilderness when it was only them. And then they don't know the context of the conversation is two Jews having a conversation about what they going through. So they'll just take the verse out of place, not understanding the conversation itself. So, but Clue, I gotta go. But yo,
you said that's to say that everybody has their own heaven. That they
no heaven. Like, think about this. This earth, based on what most people go through, this would be hell for a lot of people. Because remember, hell is a strict, stark place, right? It's a tough position to be in. You know, there's certain people where it's not like that. So heaven, because people have to reap what they sow, it's going to flip for a lot of people. And it's really, a lot of it's based on their nationality. So
I don't really go through life wishing people harm like that. I know people do evil. I've done bad things in my life. So I don't condemn anybody else. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's not your job.
That's not my job.
Yeah, the Most High gonna do all that.
I kind of live like American kind of values, life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness.
Okay. Well, I think that you got a good gift though. You got good charisma. You got good energy. It would behoove you as a person who is influential, I think, to dive in a little bit deeper, pause, about what we talking
You
about.
just think that because my camera good. That's it. Like,
Camera is good. I ain't gonna hold you.
like
They can't see you. But your camera good though, you know?
Oh, they can't see.
They
All
can't
right.
see.
I'm thinking they can see me. I'm like, all right, the camera quality is great.
But do this, cool, that ass, right? Read
Yeah.
Revelations thoroughly. Read Isaiah 14. Read Isaiah 53. And read Isaiah 64, I think I want. And are you in the Discord?
No.
Hop in the Discord.
I'm not any. I gotta start being more social.
Yeah.
I'm really not that social. I'm social outside of the internet. I don't have any social life on the internet.
Okay. Well, that's cool. That's like a give and take. But yeah, we build a dope community. You know, we got a meetup in Houston and all that. So just stay in touch. They're gonna drop the Discord link in the chat. Jump in the Discord, just commune. You know what I'm saying?
All right.
But yeah, take a look at those chapters as you start talking about what heaven gonna kind of be like. It'll give you a little bit of a picture. Oh, those.
Yeah, I was just saying that because I worry about the end because you want to live great now. So when you get there, you'll be content if you find yourself in the good graces of God. If there is one, because we all kind of battle. I don't know about you here, but we all kind of battle if there is or isn't.
Yeah. No.
So without even trying to be all spiritual and preachy to people, like just be a common man.
Yeah, so I think like me, like so because we going over the verses pretty thoroughly, actually, pretty cleanly, you know. But we having fun with it. It ain't preachy. It's men talking, right? When the ladies.
Oh no, I didn't say that even like even.
Oh yeah, I know. I'm
out
saying
there like you
I
preachy
agree
at
with
all.
you. I agree with you. All I'm saying is I agree. I agree with you 100%. It's better this way, you know.
I like the that's like kind of what's the the other Muslim brother that they not for back in the day, the like the 5%ers.
Who?
The guy that started that.
I can't remember his name.
I know somebody in it, how he used to smoke and drink with the fellas and commune with the people.
There's value to that, man, you know. So
yeah,
we're gonna keep grinding, bro. But yeah, take a look at that. Isaiah 14, 64, 53, and then read the book of Revelations. I think you'll get some insight into what you're looking for.
All right, thank you.
Appreciate you. Be safe.
All right, you too.
Indeed. He knows what's popping. You there? Oh, you on mute?
Yeah. You here?
Yes, sir. What's the word? What's the word? You can hear me?
Oh, can you hear me?
Yes, sir. What's goody?
It's good talking to you, Hamp. Good morning, man.
Out, man. I miss you, man. What's goody?
Been staying at it, trying to stack this bag, But I just wanted you to quickly edify me on something. I've been studying really hard. I've been paying attention to the Hebrew Israelites, Islam, and the different delineations of Christianity. Just doing tons of research recently.
Yes, sir.
And I wanted your edification because, like, just through watching you, I know that you're gonna know exactly how to answer the question. I got into basically a debate with one of my friends. We aren't called upon to actually support the government of the state of Israel, correct? That's not the mission statement.
You saying like the country? No.
Yeah, like that's not the people. The people are actually scattered, correct? Like that's where you guys come in type shit. I was trying to kind of explain this and break it down. I just couldn't find the words to really explain it because, I'm not a Hebrew Israelite. And so for me, it was hard to break it down. Like, we don't support the government. We don't support their actual, like, city, state or whatever. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, no. That's not. We go back. The Israelites go back to the land when Jesus comes back, right? So it's already not supported, with the text. But yeah, those are just people living in the land. Those aren't the people of the land.
So basically, the small hats subverted a whole culture at this point. That's
Yeah.
where my understanding of is at basically.
When you get an opportunity, look up the Khazarian Empire and look up the Ashkenazi Empire. Right, you'll find
Okay,
that things were
yeah.
co-opted and they try to adopt, and like you said, right, convert into the thing. But look up the Ashkenazi and look up the Khazarian, and see
I'm gonna
what you
look at
think.
the word.
Yeah.
Because I know the Ashkenazi is basically European.
And Khazarian, you'll have that, like what is that, like Eastern Asian, or what's that, Eurasia?
Yeah.
So look up
All
those
right,
things.
I'm definitely gonna I'm looking at it right now, but I
Mhm.
know that they were never sold to like bond women. I know they never were on boats around the world. Like I've just been studying a lot lately, dude, and I don't know.
Yeah, 100%. I
They
think,
all
yeah, you would have to fit the curses, and you also have to look like the people that's in the Bible. Like my brother Moses,
exactly.
FDI, that was up earlier. He's like, there's nobody white, right? So
It's impossible. The sun would at least have your olive at the very least.
yeah, 100%. Yeah, because you got like the Caucasus Mountains of Georgia, Russia. Like all that's not by accident, and that's a lot of where the Khazarians, kind of that empire was. But yeah, you have to fit everything that says the Israelites are to be considered that, right? That's why
Yeah.
the history, the archaeology, and the prophecy obviously is so important.
Yeah, I'm reading them up right now. That's all the clarification I needed, Hamp, so I could try to break this more for one of my younger peoples. You know what I'm saying? Um, but you already know, bro. I'm almost 2.5 years with you, boy. I ain't going nowhere. Stay doing what you doing. You're fired.
I got you, Ak, for sure, man. Hold it down, man. Tell the young boys be quiet and listen for a little bit. You know what I mean?
Man, it's the young girls over here, bro. They tripping.
All right, brethren, be safe.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Have a good morning, man. Get to it.
No doubt.
All right.
Rockstar, you there?
Grand Rising, what's good, huh?
Oh, top of the top. What's popping?
Oh man, I can't call it, man. Just finished doing a little IT work, but I'm good.
All praises. What's the word,
Yes,
man?
sir.
Think.
Oh man, I know everybody, I heard everybody. I know when it comes to it, one of the reasons I don't really debate religion with most people, even though it's still a good conversation to have, you know what I'm saying? Love the show and it's giving opening a dialogue. John Henry Clark once said, I only debate my equals. And man, when it comes to not really religion, but when it just comes to the existence of God or life itself and spiritualism, I just stay away from it because it's almost like NFL coaches arguing with TV couch coaches. You know what I mean? It's a real grim reality, and it's like a lot of people argue points, you know what I'm saying, from biased research or what they was indoctrinated on. And I remember a wise man told me at the Shrine of the Black Madonna. I don't, you probably heard of it because I know you live out there. It's on the south side. And
Yeah.
it's one of those things that opened me up. Because I'm a preacher's kid, first of all. So I knew the Bible. And you talking about somebody I used to tell you to be able to tell you any quote in the Bible. The books back and forth, right? Uh but one of the things that I was taught was the knowledge of God can never fit into one book. So just based off that alone, I think people need to understand that, be mindful when they're debating or arguing and they're running only back to the Bible, then that itself tells me that they're limited, right? And it's like I tell people all the time, motherfucker don't give a damn if an atheist did surgery on their ass to save their life, right? And when it comes to everything in life, most pilots use the same template, even though they may fly different, right? And so that's how I look at it when it comes, to That's why I tell myself I'm a more spiritualist. But you will have religious people swear that they're spiritual, and I just separate myself from people like that because a guy told me once knowledge means know what's over the ledge. We don't even, like you said recently, we don't even take the time to even break down things, understand words, find out what they mean. You know, Russian Creed says trust but verify. Even when I teach people, I tell them don't take my word for it. Right. And I think where the disconnect is between us and religion, and this is why I say, well, in spiritualism, and this is why I say religious gets in the way, is because once we truly understand that we are God body, we will understand first to get to that point that we are creators like God. We are everything of God, right? And so what religion does, it stagnates our God gene or the ability to activate the God gene. We're creators, we're inventors. You see what I'm saying? And so that limits us, you know. Most scientists don't inject religion into what they do. Doctors, same thing. And so I think that's something that we gotta hone into. You know what I mean?
Okay.
Words matter. Like I don't say good morning. I say grand rising. Energy is real, right? Uh the word spirit is simply oxygen activating the cells, and we speak it. It's air oxygen. A lot of people don't know that, right? And that's why words are power, but we speak loosely, but then say, "Oh, we understand God," and it's just we got a long way to go.
Yeah, I think that's kind of what the show when I initially started is there's been people who've been part of the religion that really get turned off, you know. When you start reading the book, you get a much different experience than what we've been taught in our churches. I think that the Most High gave us in the books, these 80 books, what we can handle, right? I think we run into an issue thinking that God was supposed to be all encompassed in what he gave us. He gave us what we need to know and understand, right? We already know he's omniscient, omnipotent, and omnipresent. So I'm not religious either. I follow the Bible, the law, statutes, commandments, and the tenets. And then I appreciate the stories and the prophecy. And then you have the archaeology that supports a lot of these things, you know? So I understand what you're saying. I understand like the end of it too. And I think I kind of agree. People get confused. The one thing about that quote is he debates his equals, the others he teaches. So if people aren't going to Paleo Hebrew class, if they're not learning Yiddish, you know, if they're not diligent, then when people hit the link and start to ask me questions, we have a conversation. I very rarely get into a mode to where I have to like be heavy handed. Now I will, right? If people are being a little bit too obtuse, but even like the brother Moses, I don't know if you heard him who came up here. Um, he was saying, I know we're not going to agree on much, you know, but we had a good conversation, and several times his humble spirit said, I need to go and take a look at that. I'm kind of wrestling with that. It's taking me a long time to answer. That's a person that is willing to listen and learn. We are too hard headed, you know. But,
Exactly.
you know, so
And that's my whole point. It's godliness is the ability to learn. Godliness is I was taught think that of a mind of a child, and you'll get closer to God. And again, I agree with you. That's the problem. You know, we go into these topics, not all of us, but some of us we go into it with the I know instead of, you know what, let's see what I could possibly share to someone that may open their perspective up and vice versa. You know, I didn't
yeah.
get this for as far as my knowledge, because I've done it all. I was taught to be, I was beat Christianity in me. You know what I mean? I practiced, I roam with the Hebrew Israelites, the 5%ers, the Muslim, all that. I practiced it all. I read all those books, still have them. Hell, I even read the Satanic Bible because it's something to learn out of it, right? And being able to convert that and use it into a positive light. You know what I'm saying? That's the key, and I think that's part of the problem with a lot of us is we're not we're not discovering. Knowledge is two words: know what's over the ledge.
Well,
and I think
the Bible actually tells us be weary of that, though. It says, be very weary of gaining knowledge from too many books. It leads to a level of perversion. People start to get kind of weary and tired from going through all these different ideologies, See, we wrestle with a lot less because we know what the truth is. So I agree. Words are very intentional. I don't say believe when we're talking about this. I say no. If we're talking about a concept outside of it, I'll say I believe because potentially you could poke a hole in it. But when I know what the truth is, I don't really need to go into these other ideologies. And in Ecclesiastes, it says just be weary of that because that person gets tired and then they start to kind of start blending things together, similar to like what happened to Solomon because he had all those women with all these different ideologies. So that's the one thing I'm just keen on. There's people that can handle it, but most of us can't.
Exactly. And I guess for more what I'm saying is, and it's not so much a play on words, but I like for example, if you study ancient Comitics, right? There was no such thing as church, and the closest thing to a church was the library, right? Or the universities, right? And so I think that it's kind of like for example, if anybody had kids, right? You don't tell your kids what they need to play or try, right? No, let the kid go through his phase. If he want to try soccer, cool. If he want to try football, cool, right? Because what that does is that develops a sense of awareness and knowledge, and it guides him into being able to guide himself. You know what I mean? Because knowledge is definitely a spaceship ride. And I think religion it minimizes that, and then that's what forces us to maybe think with these out of the loop or out of the ordinary ideologies when like my grandfather used to tell me life is simple, people complicate shit. You know what I'm saying? We're not that far off from the animal species, right? And so even nature, when I would go hunting, just being in nature, it teaches you something that some books can't even teach unless they're writing about how you match with nature and how you can learn from nature. And I think that's where people kind of lose it at. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no, I think I agree. I agree. There's a couple things, if I have to get serious or heavy handed, pursuant to like Jude, there was one thing you had said earlier. I will earnestly contend for the faith as the Bible would ask us to do. And then there was one thing that I'm keen on. The spiritual people, that's like a new phenomenon. And I find that people who are saying they're spiritual, not you directly, we haven't talked enough about, you know what I mean? But they're saying they're spiritual as a way to kind of exonerate themselves. They're saying that they don't subscribe, but now there's nothing to hold them accountable and they have little standards. And then they make it about themselves. So that you can't hold them accountable to anything. I've been hearing that happen a lot more because we've been running from the black church and we've been going into that. Now we kind of existing.
And I agree, right? And if you really pay attention to it, most people that do that are actually religious. Because we're in an era now where people are more open-minded and be like, hey, hold on, I gotta question this. I gotta question this. I gotta question that. And so again, it fits exactly what you said.
It fits.
Yeah.
I guess for me is when I had that epiphany, like what you're saying, right? I knew I wasn't a Christian. The church didn't sit well, right? The church, and then when I actually opened the book for myself and I'm starting to read it, I'm like, oh, this is it. This aligns. This makes sense. This is logical. This is linear. This shows people that look like me. the shit they was teaching me, why didn't they teach me what was actually in here? You know, so I guess mine was like I stepped back and then opened the book directly for myself. And now I'm saying, okay, here's the truth, you know? So I guess it's similar to people who are saying they're spiritual. They're like, I'm stepping back, but they don't go right and pick the book back. You know, the book that they were kind of moving away from. I stepped back and then picked up the book for myself. Like, well, I keep listening. When my mom said I never had an idea that wasn't mine because I've been hard-headed. But you know what I'm saying? But now I read it. I said, oh shit, I should have picked it up. You know what I mean? So I catch it. It's like we're going through it in different, but we took a different, after we stepped back, maybe I stepped to the right, other people are stepping to the left. I just want them to say, hey, pick it up, or we could pick it up together and see what we get out of it this time when we read it directly. You know, that's all it is.
Yeah, I totally agree, man. You know, like I said, you know, like I was told, the knowledge of God can never fit into one book. And even though I have all those books, and I've learned from all those books, the Quran, the Torah, the missing books of the Bible, the different, you know, I ain't read all revised versions, but to me, I read the ones that matter. But I also read other books, How to Live, Think Rich and Grow Quick, The Making of a Slave, The Stolen Legacy. I think that's where people lose me at, is because so many of us, you know, we limit the ability to get closer to God from a spiritual standpoint and even a physical standpoint by saying, oh, this is all I need, this is enough. And I'm like, nah, you know what I'm saying? The knowledge of God is an ongoing thing, right? Because we're constantly creating. And I think in order for us to truly activate the God gene or the God body and activate the God in us, we have to stop enclosing ourselves, especially when most of us are enclosed in what we were wrapped around in anyway.
Yeah, no, I understand that thoroughly for sure. You know what? Yes, I understand what you're saying 100%, you know, and I agree. And I'm saying that after, you know, acknowledging that, accepting what you said, this is where I'm gonna say, then I know that the Bible, how it was brought to us and taught to us, they perversed it, including our own pastors. But now we picked it up and we start really diving into it. Everybody look like us. They talk like us. You know what I mean? How we are is how they were. And so it's so much value there that was missed because of how people taught it to us. And now that we're learning for ourselves, hopefully we can get back to the Bible, read the 80 books, to your point, as opposed to just the 66, and get so much more understanding. It's almost like I'm saying, yo, give it a second chance now that you got it in your hand. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. And also, you know, we wanna if I tell people to go back as deep as they can, because when I started studying ancient Comedics and the original Cushites and those books and stuff, you know what I mean? I start to realize and unfold the truth instead of the facade. You know, like for example, I've had people look at me crazy and I tell them, you know, fuck that bullshit Trinity. I said that ain't a Trinity. That's a gay orgy. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
3 fucking men? No, the true Trinity is the man, the woman, and the child. But they'll be ready to cuss me out and say I'm going to hell.
Yeah, no, 100%. Yeah, the spirit. I didn't even get into the Trinity today, but yeah, that would be one of the dogmatic things that the Bible don't support. You know what I'm saying? So it's just like, I just really know, bro. We've been done such a disservice, just in terms of who taught us, you know, and just how we came to pass, you know. So it just, I used to be real disheartened, but you know how I've been kind of processing it for so long. The impact's still there, but I don't get as sad. You know what I'm saying? But I'm just like, damn, son. Just imagine if somebody would have, you know, like me or you sat down and say, hey, y'all niggas come look at this. So it say Niger, Acts 13:1. Let's look it up. The pronunciation actually says nigger, and then it means black. Oh, so this was so how we use niggas, how they was used. Like this, there's just like little things that they just never showed us in an all black church. Like they really just did us a disservice. So I'm just like, damn, son. Like
I feel you, bro. So, hey, I'm a preacher's kid, so you know I got my ass whooped for not wanting to go to church. So.
Yeah, yo, it's crazy, bro. Like, my grandma a pastor and it's Pentecostal. So 11 to whenever.
Yeah. So you know that church life, we lived there, man.
Yeah, man. I'm telling you, bro. I was telling the story earlier. I used to love when my dad go because he going to sleep. So
yeah,
if he go to
saw
sleep,
that
I get to go to sleep.
Hey, I was so happy to play sports. That was my excuse.
Yeah, yo, I'm telling you. Hey, Rockstar, man, I appreciate you, man. I'm about to get up out of here,
Yes,
brother.
sir. Hey, look here now. Look. I know you a heavyweight boxer, but if you tell me you gonna hit me and you don't, again, we gonna have to fight. I'm 185 right now. I'm losing weight. I done gained a little weight.
Okay.
You look, I ain't at my fight weight no more. Most I fought at was 170. Well, I fought at 171 one time, but most of my adult career I fought at 165. But nah, man, hit your boy, man.
Yeah, word is bomb.
All right.
Hey, bro, be safe, man. Holla at me.
You too, man. Love you, boy.
Love you, man. Like, share, subscribe, tell a friend to tell a friend. Hit that like button right now if you can. That helps the channel the most. Let me see this. Let me just show y'all this real quick. So, should be able to see my screen, right? This is what I was referring to. So this is Acts 13:1. So Niger here, right? That's how you think it's pronounced. Niger equals black. And this is Acts. This is shown in Acts 13:1 here, right? And so here's the Niger here. And so this has a pronunciation key. Just so I wasn't just talking, right?
Strong's G 3526. Niger. Strong's G 3526. Niger.
Yeah, man. So, interesting, man. Hey, hell of a show. I really appreciate y'all. Y'all can hear these sound effects, right? I want to make sure y'all can hear that, right? Just want to make sure because I'm using a different soundboard. Just put a 1 in the chat if y'all can hear this. Pride, what's up, baby? Okay, so y'all can't hear it. Miss Jill, no, yes. Okay, so I'm playing like the purge siren. You can't hear this, correct? Okay. All right, cool. I had to fix that. I had to figure it out. Okay. Maybe it was just loud. Oh, I see what it was. You could probably hear it because I hit this button. Okay, I gotta fix that because I've been hitting them sound effects. Well, I gotta make sure y'all can hear them because I'm using a different board. Try to give my computer a break because I usually use my DJ board, but it puts a lot of like stress on the computer because I got so many programs running, and I'm like, damn, I might need to get a computer. But I was trying to convert to this board to see if maybe that'll help me alleviate some of the bandwidth, not bandwidth, what is it? Memory being used. Yeah. So, okay. I'll figure it out. Now, which 75th would have hit the link? I think I would have got a little bit more serious. It's all good though. Good to have you, man. So yeah, man. Hey, I'll see y'all tonight. For the This Might Be Risky original show. And we're gonna have a good time, man. There's a couple topics I'm kind of mining through. There's one topic that we actually did not get to the last show we did that I think we gotta circle back around to. And we didn't get the POV in last night, so maybe I'll kind of combine the two. Get the ladies with some of the fellas, see how they handle it. You know what I mean? Yeah, Prod, I got you. Got you. I'm gonna see if I can incorporate it, get it in here. You know what I mean? But yeah, man, I love y'all. I appreciate y'all. Get y'all tickets to Houston. The shit is gonna be amazing. I'm trying to tell you. Get y'all tickets to Houston, man. I love y'all. I appreciate y'all. Be safe and do the right thing, man. Like, share, subscribe. Tell a friend to tell a friend. And we out. Join the Discord.
Well, we can kill all this. We can kill all this. Say like, do you want to be next?
Anytime you ready, baby. I was supposed to be there.
Ooh, I'm with it.
I'm
with it. We can do it.
Knocks out everybody, and no one can whoop him. That's when that little Cassius Clay from Louisville, Kentucky came up and stopped Sonny Liston, the man who annihilated Floyd Patterson twice. He was going to kill me. He hit harder than George. His reach is longer than George. He's a better boxer than George. And I'm better now than I was when you saw that 22-year-old undeveloped kid running from Sonny Liston. I'm experienced now, professional. Jaw's been broke, been lost, knocked down a couple times. Bad. Been chopping trees. I done something new for this fight. I done wrestled with an alligator. That's right. I have wrestled with an alligator. I done tussled with a whale. I done handcuffed lightning, throw thunder in bed. That's bad. Only last week, I murdered a rock, injured a stone, hospitalized a brick. I'm so mean, I make medicine sick. Man, dude. Fast. Last night, I cut the light off in my bedroom. The switch was in the bed before the room was dark. Incredible. Fast. And you, George Foreman, all of you chumps are gonna bow when I whoop him. All of you. I know you got him. I know you got him picked. But the man's in trouble. I'm gonna show you how great I am.
Eyes up.